What is up, everyone? We're back with more MTG standard stuff. Today we're going to look at Dega, black, white, red kind of mid-range control. Um, it's been doing real well on MTGO. It's won a couple of dailies, so it's worth taking a closer look at. But we have uh, edited the deck a little bit to just to fit our meta and kind of our play style. Like you can see a lot of lists online. They run like Falcon Wrath Aristocrat and stuff. I took a deck that's very similar to the one that 4-0'd daily this week to my FNM, and I did really well there. My FNM was full of Naya Blitz and like just aggressive kind of decks. Cartel Aristocrat, things like that. And my deck did real well there. And it's been doing real well in testing, but against control it was doing pretty bad. So what I did was I edited the deck a little bit to accommodate a sideboard that looks like it will be pretty good on versus control. And we are going to take a look at that now. So what is this? What is this nonsense? How do you? The hell is this? Okay. All right. Let's fix this there. Okay, here we are. We're back. So basically, the deck, what it wants to do is it wants to kind of brick wall the board state early in the game. With cards like with removal like Dreadbore and Tragic Slip, and then later in the game, or Boros Reckoner, and then later in the game you want to drop bombs and kind of just ride these bombs to victory. And this deck kind of operates around 5, 6, 7 mana. This deck is all about dropping bombs. It's mid-range, like classic mid-range list. It's running 26 lands just because we really don't have that high of a curve per se, but you want to make sure that you hit every land drop so that you can play your threats, because your threats are very limited. For low casting cost cards, we got 3 Tragic Slip, and the land is just things to note. There's 2 Vault of the Archangel here, and this is very important for like Lingering Souls tokens and Assemble the Legion tokens and stuff like that. So Vault really adds a lot of value to your low power creatures, and it keeps gets you life back, so it's pretty cool, right? So 26 lands. You figure out how you guys want your mana base. This is what I'm running, full set of duels except for the white-red ones, and I cut back on 1 Clifftop Retreat and 1 Sacred Foundry, but I added a red and a plains just for in case people are running Ghost Quarter. Mana base looks pretty solid. For 1 mana cost cards, we got 3 Faithless Looting and 3 Tragic Slip. Tragic Slip is there. It could have been Pillar of Flame, and I'm still going back and forth between Pillar of Flame and Tragic Slip. I'm going Tragic Slip now because it's instant speed, and late in the game, there's a possibility that it's not a crappy top deck, and it takes care of things like Boros Reckoner. It takes care of Obzidot if you can proc its ability correctly. It's a decent card. Okay. Faithless Looting, this isn't necessarily a turn 1 play for the deck. You probably aren't going to be playing this on turn 1, but it does thin out or even out your draws so that you are hitting all your land drops, because you really need them for things that we're going to discuss in a little bit. And it has flashback, so that's nice. But remember that this is strictly card disadvantage because we're not playing Snapcaster. Few of our spells do have the ability to be played from the graveyard, so that's nice. But we're thinking of this as an aggressive way to make sure we hit our land drops so that we can play into our bigger bombs. Okay, so 3 Faithless Looting. At the 2-drop spot, we only have Mizia Mortars, and this is a great card. 4 damage for 2 mana to target creature that is very solid, especially early game. Let's say a Naya Blitz. They're on the play and they bust out with a 3/3 possibly even a 4/4 champion of parish on turn 2 or 3, at least you can answer that right away. So that's nice. And the greater benefit is the overload of this. For 6 mana, you deal 4 damage to all of their creatures. And what tends to happen is, you'll be able to stall out with, Lingering Souls tokens or Boros Reckoners or Gloom Surgeons in the sideboard, things of that nature. And then, being able to like just finally hit your 6 mana, Mizia Mortars, clear their side of the board, and then swing is a very big tempo change. So 3 is nice. That's just the number that I'm running. The other thing is we got 2 Dreadbore. There's 1 more in the sideboard, and Dreadbore is just good there for kind of taking care of huge creatures, huge threats, or planeswalkers that are causing a problem, whatever. So it's a nice card, sorcery speed, but it's not too bad. And Lingering Souls, the flashback is 1 black, 1 colorless, so that's also a 2 mana spell. Although it's most likely it's going to be a 3 mana spell initially, right? And Lingering Souls also does a great job of setting up the blocker and buying you time. And that's all you want the deck to do, really, buy you time to get play into your bigger drops. At 3 mana slot, what do we have? We have Boros Reckoner, and if you are playing red and white, or white, you should be playing this card. This guy is just a very good blocker. He's just he causes a lot of combat problems for your opponent. Like really, like combat damage can be really tricky. There's a lot of lines of play, and he really does cool stuff. So 4 of this dude, and 4 Lingering Souls as we discussed earlier. 2 Liliana of the Veil. This could be something else. It could be Sorin. Jerry Thompson likes Sorin. It could be, what else could it be? That's kind of cool. It could be Gideon. There's a couple things it could be, but for me, I really like Liliana. I think even if she just acts as a 3 mana sack outlet, then that's what she does. Fine. I think it's a very good card. Helps set up Umbriel Rights shenanigans. Good against control. It's a strong card. I like it. So at the 4-drop spot, we have actually we have nothing in the main board at the 4-drop spot. At the 5-drop spot, we have Obzidot and Umbriel Rights, and this is part of the works well with Faithless Looting because obviously you pitch a big creature, popping out on turn 4 if that's necessary. But so this is pretty straightforward. It's really not what the deck is built around, but I mean it's there. So the other drop is a Obzdot, and he's great. This card has haste on the second time it comes in, and really like you can kill players without really having to attack. You can just really stall their attack with Boros Reckoners and Lingering Souls. And then once you get Obzidot out, you're really putting them on a tough clock because you're causing a 4-point life swing even if you don't attack, and that is a big deal. That's inevitability. It forces them to really play and make plays. Run into the other 5-drop, and it's very similar to Obzidot in the fact that it builds inevitability. Is Assembled Legion. This is an enchantment. I wasn't playing this originally, but I saw Jerry Thompson playing it, and it's very, very good. This really causes great board. Like if you can stabilize fairly, early in the game, this card really just takes over because it forces your opponent to make plays. Because if not, turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, you're building an army of guys. I really like the card. Really strong card. So that's the 5 drops. For the 6 drops, we got 2 Aurelias. When you got Assemble the Legion out there, you drop Aurelia. That's 2 attack phases. It can cause a bunch of problems, or even like a nice curve out is Obzidot, turn 5. Whatever, you flash your stuff, turn 6. Maybe they think they can take a 7 damage swing without worrying, so they don't keep a blocker open, or whatever it may be, and they don't realize that boom, turn 6 Aurelia, and then you swing with Obzidot plus Aurelia twice. I mean it's just a big swing. So it's Aurelia's a strong card. She's not the greatest card, but I really like. She's been testing really well for me. So, and for the 7-drop, we have 2 Angel of Serenity, which is pretty much great for the end game. I mean, it just you against aggro, you kind of win on the spot. You know, against the reanimator decks like Junk Rights, you kind of you can compete with their angels. It's just a strong card all around. You know, you can bring back your Boros Reckoners from the graveyard. You know, I mean, does a bunch of things. Very versatile, strong end game. A lot of people may not play him, but I choose to have him. We got the mana to run him. This is a decent card. And the last to end the curve, we have oh, we missed Terminus. We have 2 Terminus in here just for the aggro aggressive matchups. It's nice to miracle a card like this. And sometimes you just need a board wipe. So you know, sometimes direct damage, Mizium Mortars, four damage is not enough to take out some things, and a board wipe is just necessary. So 2 of these, and then 1 Blasphemous Act, which is also similar board wipe, and depending on if you have a Boros Reckoner, you can really steal games. You know, get a guy down to 13 or so life, and Blasphemous Act, and just take a game away right from under them. We'll take a quick look at the sideboard because you do not see it here. For the sideboard, we got 3 Gloom Surgeons. These come in against aggro. Like Boros Reckoner, they're a very good blocker. We also have Dreadbore, another Dreadbore. This comes in against many of the decks. We have 2 of Oblivion Rings. These typically come in against Control to help counter, or maybe even against Reanimator, but most likely not, just to take care of troublesome planeswalkers like Dreadbore, same way the Dreadbore works, and to also take care of like enchantments that you might not be prepared for, like a Sphere of Safety or a opponent's Detention Sphere, or whatever. So it's pretty cool. 2 Purify the Graves. This is clearly for the Reanimator matchup, and 3 Slaughter Games, which are also for Reanimator. But Slaughter Game is also good against Sphinx's Revelation and Invisible Stalker. Whatever things that you may not have been prepared for. We have 1 Gideon, and Gideon is great against Control, like Assemble the Legion. And because the deck has a lot of problems with Control, or it isn't the greatest matchup, we need more answers. So Gideon is one of them. Rakdos Return is the other. And then we have another Blasphemous Act in here just for super aggressive decks. So that's the deck. And we're going to start testing it right now. We'll see how it does.